Taking place in Ventura, California, journalists from all over the US and Canada convened in the coastal city to check out the new 900s from NOAA we had also eagerly been awaiting. With the new Shiver having an engine enlarged from 750 to 900 in revised styling, we were all excited to get some seat time to bring our readers a first ride review. After having owned my personal Tuono for a few years now, I was happy to have a chance to test out a completely different platform from my own big naked motorcycle. The 2018 Aprilia Shiver 900 is a looker. The amount of detail that has gone into the design from an engineering standpoint to pure aesthetic is pretty fantastic. Almost to the point of being reminiscent of another Italian marque known for its motorcycle art. Aprilia is a brand that is too little known in the US of A, if you ask me. While speaking to Aprilia's brand manager, Patrick Flynn, he related a story about a gentleman walking up to him at a gas station while he was putting brake-in miles on these motorcycles, and attempting to pronounce Aprilia. Flynn gently corrected him on the correct pronunciation and informed the man Aprilia's are Italian motorcycles. That was all he needed to hear. Yet nice. With 54 championships in the V4 platform we all love here at MO, I wish more motorcyclists in the US had access to Aprilia. However, it seems the most commonly cited issue is the company's relatively small dealer network. To put Aprilia's upgraded Shiver 900 to the test, the Aprilia staff led us out toward one of my favorite roads in Southern California, Highway 33. If you haven't been, Highway 33, north of Ojai, includes a great mix of tight turns, fast sweepers, and gorgeous scenery as it snakes its way through the Los Padres National Forest. This road is a must-ride for any motorcyclist. Aprilia is using the same 896 cubic centimeters 90-degree V-twin motor to power the new Shiver, as well as the new Dorso Duro, but that's a story for a few days from now, which is why both models were included in this introduction. The previous Shiver and Dorso Duro were 750s and left many journalists and consumers alike wishing for something more, so that's what Aprilia did. The new V-twin is claimed to produce 93.8 HP at 8,750 RPM, with 66.3 lb-ft of torque at 6,500. In order to punch the engine out to 896 cubic centimeters, Aprilia simply lengthened the stroke from 56.4 mm to 67.4 mm while keeping the bore the same at 92 mm. While I might have preferred a little more torque deep down low in the rev range, the new power plant makes good, fun, usable power throughout most of the RPM range, but it's happier if you stay away from real low on the RPM spectrum. The engine is said to have revised its crankshaft geometry and balancing to deliver a smoother ride. It felt pretty smooth to me, so good job, Aprilia. Other changes to the twin include a lighter piston with a new coating to reduce friction, a reinforced piston pin, semi-dry crankcase with reed valves controlling oil movement, and new double-jet fuel injectors which spray at a higher pressure for better air/fuel atomization. Another big upgrade we are happy to see is the inclusion of the Marelli 7 SMVCU, which was brought over from the V4 platform and now works as the brains of the Shiver's operations, enabling the new DC management and streamlining electrical systems while shedding a claimed 1 pound of weight. Rider interface with the Shiver is quite nice in most respects, however, there are a few nits to pick. The new ride-by-wire throttle feels great, although actual fueling can be jerky at low RPM. The bend on the handlebar puts the user in a comfortable rider triangle, while the comfy 32-inch tall seat allowed my 30-inch inseam to flat-foot comfortably on both sides. Rider and passenger foot pegs include rubber inserts to quell vibration. The gearbox feels solid with tight tolerances resulting in positive shifts, however, the amount of pressure needed to downshift was surprisingly high. Aprilia says the hydraulic clutch pull has been reduced by 15% thanks to refinements to its design and a change in friction material. This must have been a welcome improvement over the previous iteration because I felt the Shiver 900's clutch pull was still a bit on the heavy side. Braking is handled by dual 320mm floating rotors, squeezed by 4 piston calipers which are fed by steel-braided brake lines, while the rear uses a 240mm wave rotor and single piston caliper with steel-braided lines. No Brembos here, likely to keep costs down, but the brakes are adequate for the task at hand. ABSs, of course, standard, as on all European motorcycles since 2016. The front brakes initially felt a bit vague, but some of the motorcycles had less than 200 miles on their odometers, and improved somewhat after more hard miles. I think it was an issue of the pads having not bedded in entirely. Initial bite improved once they were fully up to temperature.